So how's it going, ladies and gents, and welcome back to the channel. Today guys, we're doing a Master Duel deck profile, and this is in relation or a connection to the previous video with the Spright Synchro deck. Now this is version 2, and by gosh, we made a Synchro deck that revolves around sprites and some other archetypes. So the previous one we actually made is with the Deep Sea Diva and the Orochi monster, which is not that really consistent with regards to its play, and of course summoning the Bar on the Floor on one turn isn't enough. So what this deck, or what I'm going to showcase to you guys today, is a mixture of another archetype. Let's go to the deck profile and check that one out. So right in front of you, ladies and gents, this is the Spright Synchro deck that I've managed to pull out, and you might be wondering, why are we using Melffys? Now Melffys has a really good effect of bouncing from the field to your hand. During the end phase, you can summon or spell summon a Melffy monster to the field and then use it during your opponent's turn. So right off the bat, we have 2 copies of the TheCaliEffect, which is our main targets for our Melffy puppy and our Melffy catty. If you already have TheCaliEffect on hand, you can also use this with Melffy Penny. So this card allows you to spell summon a beast monster from your hand to the field. The Catty allows you to bring forth a copy of a beast monster from your deck to your hand. Now your usual target for this is the Hop Ear Squadron, which is it uses or targets one monster on your side of the field and use that monster for a synchro summon. You can go for a level 4 monster, which is your Herald of Arclight, which is another form of negate, or you go towards a Crimson Quandax, which is an also quick effect monster that synchro summons another monster with the use of your materials on board. Now the last 2 Melffy monsters that I'm going to talk about is the Melffy Puppy and the Melffy Pony. Now the Pony allows you to bring forth a card or a beast monster from the graveyard and add it to your hand. The Puppy allows you to spell summon a beast monster from your deck to your side of the field. Your usual target for this is the TheCaliEffect, which is not a once per turn. So that is your Melffy cards, guys. Your sprites are the typical ones. The only addition to the sprite lineup is the 3 copies of Spright Pixies, which is a really good addition to the archetype. If ever you want to go towards an OTK with another monster, you can just drop Spright Pixies or just use its effect to gain an attack boost for your selected monster. The other things that we need to tackle is the 2 copies of Red and the 2 copies of Carrot. You need most of it because in some starting hand, you'll always draw into 1 sprite and then most of the Melffy monsters, which you really need to do because you can immediately go towards a gigantic sprite to set up your board. But most cases for this deck, you'll always draw into a puppy, a catty, or even 2 or 1 copy of a sprite monster, which is beneficial for the deck. The reason why we are not running Max C is because we always get cards from our deck to our hand with the help of the Melffy monsters and the sprite monsters. So it's not really that necessary for a Max C. And of course, on top of all that, if we are going to add Max C into this lineup, then it's really hard for us to ever bring forth other combos that you need to have for this deck. For the extra deck, we are going towards 2 copies of Herald of the Arclight and then 1 Crimson Quandax, a really good quick effect monster that can synchro summon another monster on the field. 1 copy of Desert Locust, which can discard 1 card on your opponent's hand during his turn. And then for your level 8 monsters, you have the Borreload Savage Dragon, the Adamancipator Dragite, and the Bar on the Floor as your only level 10 synchro monster. Other than that, we're just revolving around Exe monsters and then Link monsters, which we start off with 1 Cat Shark, which it's necessary in some cases that we're breaking boards or after we broke a board. And then we move towards 1 copy of Soul Sweeper, 2 copies of Gigantic Sprite. And then for your Link monsters, you have 1 copy of Masquerina, 1 copy of Elf. It's just for your turn to set up, then you can just use this during your opponent's turn to bring forth another level 2 monster from your graveyard. 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn in case you want to use the effect of Masquerina during your opponent's turn. And lastly, 1 copy of Appaloosa, Bow of the Goddess. Now this is typically one of your high boss monsters that you need to summon to the field, since most of the time you are gonna spam a lot of monsters on your board, so having Bow of the Goddess is really necessary. So that is your main deck, guys, and let's move towards the replays and I'll showcase you guys how fun this deck really is with the Melffys. So enjoy! So here we are, guys, with the replays, and I have 2 replays for you guys today, and yes, just 2 replays because most of the games that I have with this deck, people are just scooping after the 2nd turn. So I think this is one of those cases right here. But I just wanna showcase you guys how to set up a board. Now, the only downside for this kind of setup is since you're using a lot of monster effects, then only a Dark Ruler no more can actually disrupt your board, and then you'll basically flop into the next game. So anyways, on our starting hand, we got a Hop Here Squadron, a really good card to start off. 1 Melffy Catty, 1 Poppy, 1 Spright Jet, and a starter. So to start, we go for normal summoning our Poppy, spell summoning our Jet, getting a copy of our another starter, since that's the only Sprite spell art trap that we have. Starter is gonna spell summon Blue. Blue is gonna get a copy of either one of the negates or the pixies. It's either one of those cases, but I prefer the red. Spell summon the red, and then we exit summon into Gigantic Sprite. Since we already have Hop Your Squadron, we're just gonna spell summon the Crystron monster, and by far this will be useful in our during our opponent's turn. Next up will be special summoning Spright Elf, spell summon back red, and then we set our Spright Startle. We will use this one in the next turn, by the way. So like I said, on the end phase, all of your Melffy monsters that is on your hand will have a bounce effect, or will have a archetype effect, as you may say, to spell summon itself to the field. So be sure to leave one field vacant for any of your combos. It's really necessary. So during our opponent's turn, he's gonna use it with the help of Kaiju, which is very beneficial. We use the effect of we use the effect of Catty, since our opponent normal or spell summons a monster. Bounce it off to get a copy of another copy of Hop Your Squadron. Target the monster at level 8, and then we go towards bar on the floor. Now this is basically your board right there, and our opponent just scoop afterwards. Yeah, he actually knew what they were doing, and then basically we won the game because of that. But don't worry, our next game is quite long, so you'll know what to do with this deck, basically. So on our next game, guys, our opponent is going first, and we have a starting hand of 1 Calantosa, 1 Catty, 1 Poppy, 1 Pixies, and 1 Carrot. So we don't have a hand trap to negate his effects, so let's see what we can do with this. Oh, so basically he had his first turn here. I can't remember this game, but yeah, let's just try to remember some parts of it. We draw into an effect Veiler, normal summoning our Pixies, spell summoning our Carrot, go for Gigantic Sprite afterwards. And then we tried to use the effect of Gigantic Sprite, but we got Siphon Gear Gamad. So it's not really a problem here because, like I said, on the end of our turn, we can just special summon the Melffy monsters. So Melffy Poppy and the Catty will be special summoned to the field because of his archetype effect. Our opponent is going to draw into 1 card and then set another card on field. I don't know what he's actually playing at, but he's just bricking, by the way, so I don't know why. He'll use the effect of Maxi. We go Cold by the Grave, and basically I'll just go directly to turn 5 here because this is basically the gameplay right here. So we can't do anything since our monsters have low attack points. But yeah, we just go for a Gigantic Sprite once more and try to spell summon a monster, hoping we can just manage, but we do. So go for blue, get a copy of Jet. Jet will be summoned to the field. Get a copy of the starter. Use the effect of the starter, bring forth a negate, which we choose red for this instance. And then go for Spright Elf. For the effect of Spright Elf, we spell summon 1 Melffy. Yeah, 1 Melffy monster. And then go for Poppy. And so we're going up against Mathmex here, which is really formidable in some of the decks nowadays. So set 1 back row for our opponent, and then use the effect of Signet Mining, discarding his Harpist Feather Duster. We use the effect of Elf, special summoning back Catty, and by far we can just use this one later on. So there we go. Use the effect. He'll use the effect of Circular and drop off a copy of Sigma. Use the effect of Red, tribute Elf from our field. Never tribute your normal monsters or your effect monsters because we'll need that one later on. So just your effect or your rank monsters for the tribute. So since our opponent normal or special summon a monster, it will prompt the effect of the Poppy and the Catty. The Catty will bring forth a copy of Squadron, and then the Poppy will spell summon Calantosa to the field. Squadron is gonna target the Calantosa and then exit summon or synchro summon into. We didn't go for Herald. I forgot about this. So yeah, we just moved towards Quadranx or Quandax. You normal summon again another copy of Diameter, targeting a monster in the graveyard. And then we use the effect Veiler here, and then Quandax for Synchro Summon into Borreload Savage Dragon. There we go. So that's basically the best part about this type of deck is you can do this during your opponent's turn. So yeah, it's very fun, very fun. So our opponent is going to Alembertian. I don't want to negate it because he has the effect of the Diameter, so it's just going to be destroyed either way. So he'll skip a turn since he can't do anything else. He'll use the effect of Super Factorial, which we can negate now. And then he'll use the effect of Mathmech Induction, which he can't negate by far, but our monster will be destroyed anyways. So can't do anything else. There we go. So on our main phase, we normal summon Puppy and then spell summon Red. Since we don't have another copy of a gigantic Sprite, we can't do anything other than that. So on our end turn, we spell summon Catty, and then we end our turn. So since he normal summon on his turn Sigma, we use the effect of Puppy and the Catty once more. There we go. Draw a copy of Squadron once again, and then Puppy will spell summon another copy of Fanny. We'll use the effect of Alembertian, tribute to one monster to spell summon a monster from the grave, and then we use the effect of Hop Your Squadron for Herald negate. So this is actually a 12-turn game, by the way, guys. So it's really hard. It's really hard in Diamond. So there's a ton of negates and a ton of plays for this deck. But it's fun. It's really fun. That's why I really want to showcase this one. So at this point, I really thought he was going for another Alembertian play, which was I was really scared of. But I think he only has one copy on his deck, so that's really sad to see. So you go towards a copy of Splash Mage. We'll just negate that one with with a copy of our Herald of Arclight. There we go, negated and destroyed. And we just have Calantosa on the field. So that's basically it. This is actually what happens if you're going mid to end game with the Melffy monsters. You can't actually dish out a good what you call this, damage by far if you don't have any more Exe or Link monsters that you'll need. Regardless, we dish out quite an average amount of damage. Main phase 2, we go into Masquerina, and then end phase we special summon again a Catty and a Fanny. Our opponent's turn. He's gonna use Sigma once more. Spell summon. Since he's spell summon, we use the effect of the Melffy monsters, which we can bounce. I don't want to use the effect of the Fanny since it's just gonna spell summon one monster on our hand. It's not really necessary. And then for the Catty, we spell summon the Fanny. I mean the Pony. And then with the IP Masquerina, we go to Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess. So a 3 material Appaloosa, which is very necessary for this against this deck, by the way. So we go for normal summon Puppy, attack the defense position Sigma, and attack for 300. Yes, a 300 attack, the strongest one there is. So on our end turn, we spell summon Catty once more, and then another copy of Fanny. We're almost done, ladies and gents. Don't worry. So our opponent's gonna use Silent Mining, then get a copy of Circular. He's gonna use the effect of Circular, but we can just negate it with the help of Bow of the Goddess. And luckily, we still have a trap card if ever he'll use the effect of another monster. Anyways, so he ended his turn there, and basically, I think this is the end of the game. So we drew in the Spright Jet, Trail Summon Spright Jet. We got a copy of Starter. I think we go into Obimaru. Onibimaru, Soul Sweeper. Use the effect, banish the face down Circular. Use the effect of Starter, and this is actually game. We spell summon Blue, get a copy of Pixies, and then we spell summon Pixies. Go for your lethal. There we go, catch on the field, and that's basically the gameplay, right, ladies and gents. So that is the deck profile, and those are the replays. Hope you enjoyed this kind of content, and hope we'll talk about another archetype. Hopefully it's not going to be sprites again, but yeah, let's see in the near future. Keep safe, good luck guys. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.